Chapter 7. Lot. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven, and he overthrew those cities. Genesis 19:24 and 25. During Abraham's lifetime, God also prophetically revisited the subject of Jesus' second coming. This will be God's second time of revealing information concerning mankind's future 6,000th year on earth. It was accomplished through the parable, of Abraham's nephew, Lot, who lived in a city called Sodom. In the story of Noah, we learned Christ's second coming will occur during year 6,000, proceeding with one house of righteous people, the spiritual house of Christ, being lifted up into the air while planet Earth's entire surface is destroyed. You are about to learn the story of Sodom and Gomorrah has a strikingly similar set of circumstances because, as I have said, it is about the same subject, Jesus' second coming. But this time around, God will disclose precisely how the righteous people will be lifted up into the air and by exactly what means he will destroy earth and all the ungodly people's flesh. Lot was a good man who feared God and lived righteously, obeyed the 10 love commandments, but he had moved his family to the rich city of Sodom where the people lived wickedly. The Bible records, "And the Lord said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is very grievous, I will go down and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me." Genesis 18:20 and 21. Around 1,400 years later, God told the prophet Ezekiel about the sins of Sodom. "Behold, this was the iniquity of thy sister Sodom. Pride, fullness of bread, and abundance of idleness was in her, and in her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and needy. And they were haughty, and committed abomination before me. Therefore I took them away as I saw good." Ezekiel 16:49-50. Sodom's citizenry sound eerily similar to the populace living in Noah's day. Do you remember? Wicked people are only out for themselves and their own sinful gratification. The thoughts in their head, spirit, are continually selfish. They care nothing at all about helping the poor on earth who desperately need their help. God will annihilate the flesh of these type people during his second coming, sending their souls to a hellish torment. After reflecting on their sins, God decided to wipe out the inhabitants of Sodom and Gomorrah. But remember, it is really all part of his secret plan to foretell more about Christ's second coming. So what did God choose to use as a vehicle to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah? Fire and brimstone. How about that? It would be more than 1,000 years until God would prophesy plainly through the Israeli prophets about the coming fiery day of the Lord's wrath at Christ's second coming. Zephaniah foretold, "The great day of the Lord is near. That day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, a day of the trumpet. And I will bring distress upon men that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as the dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy." Zephaniah 1:14-18. The word land here is translated from the original Hebrew word eres, meaning world, earth, all inhabited lands. The word whole is from the Hebrew word kol, meaning all, everyone, everything, totality of a mass or collective. What a shocking day it will be for planet Earth. But back in 1924 BC, God was giving mankind a glimpse into how this age would come to an end by obliterating everything in the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah, houses, animals, people, and land, with a raging fire. Watch the incredible detail of the parable of Lot, play out in perfect parallel prophetic format to the story of Noah, i.e., one righteous house of people rescued upward while everything else is destroyed beneath. So who was saved from the destruction? It was only Lot's house, Lot, Lot's wife, and Lot's 2 daughters. Do you recognize God's precision in controlling and telling a prophetic story? In this parable, Lot's family symbolized the spiritual house of Christ, i.e., all the righteous souls who ever lived, for they are the only ones who will be saved from God's wrath on the great day of Jesus Christ's second coming. But how exactly was Lot's family rescued out of the wicked city? It was by angels. The Bible proclaims, "And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and while he, Lot, lingered, the men, 2 angels, laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him, and they brought him forth, and set him without the city." Genesis 19:16. 2,000 years later, Jesus confirmed it would be angels who would gather up all the righteous people and whisk them out of here right before God burns planet Earth. "And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man," Jesus, "in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the 4 winds, from one end of heaven to the other." Matthew 24:30 and 31. See? Through the angelic rescue in the story, parable of Lot, God was secretly prophesying that it will be angels who will save, rapture, the righteous at Jesus' second coming. The angels told Lot's house to flee to the mountains. "Escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed." Genesis 19:17. So Lot and his family ascended. Lot went up out of Zoar, and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him. Genesis 19:30. Friend, God's parables are always accurate. And what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? Everything was burnt to ashes. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven, and he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground. Genesis 19:24 and 25. Do you see? Everything was destroyed by the fire, just like everything was destroyed in Noah's day. Friend, make no mistake about it, the entire surface of planet Earth will be destroyed by fire during Jesus' second coming, and only one house of righteous souls will be saved from the annihilation. Immediately afterwards, God will regenerate planet Earth back to its original Garden of Eden-like conditions with beautiful new foliage and new landmass. Then he will return all the righteous people who ever lived back to earth to live and reign with Jesus Christ 1,000 years. Jesus said, "Ye which have followed me in the regeneration when the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory." Matthew 19:28. Do you see? Earth will be physically reborn. Eventually, through direct words, Jesus straightforwardly authenticated the story of Sodom and Gomorrah was actually a futuristic look at his second coming. Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man, Jesus, is revealed. Luke 17:28 through 30. Pay close attention to Jesus' words. The same day Lot escaped, fire destroyed all the ungodly. Friend, the rapture of the saints and the destruction of the wicked will take place on the same day. It will happen exactly like the stories of Lot and Noah prophetically reveal. It is the great day of the Lord's wrath at Christ's second coming, and nothing will survive on planet Earth. Amazingly, the ungodly people will have no clue their destruction is imminent. Life will be proceeding just like it always does, people all caught up in their pursuit of worthless dirt, caring nothing about God, love. But then, like a thief in the night, Jesus will arrive.
Let me ask you a question you probably never pondered. Why did God create the world in 6 days? Do you think he had no logic, motive, or purpose behind using that specific number of days? Do you think he just placed a bunch of numbers in a hat and nonchalantly drew one? Or do you believe the cosmos required that precise number of days to be completed, as if God could not have created it in 1, 2, 5, or any other number of days? Friend, you should know better. God can do anything. Which brings us back to the original question. Why did God create the world in 6 days? The answer to this mystery is contained in the Bible, and its gradual, albeit secret, uncovering in story after story leads to the stunning prophetic title of Gabriel Ansley Erb's book, Undeniable Biblical Proof Jesus Christ Will Return to Planet Earth exactly 2,000 years after the year of his death. But far more important than merely discovering this fact, Gabriel's book will fully elucidate and crush all confusion concerning what a person must do to obtain eternal life. For it will illuminate the true spiritual meaning behind every detail God controlled to happen in the ancient Bible stories. So sit back and hold on, because Gabriel's message is going to be a life-changing ride. Order your copy today in paperback or ebook form from Amazon.com.